Hi, my name is Alessandro Cangeloso and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. Today we continue the conversion for the V-Ray scene in the iRay settings, and we'll try to finalize all the material needed to finalize the scene. So something that we have to do is to start working with the scene, with the gamma settings. Everything is nice and I like to see all the material we have to fix. So to remember what we have to do, we can reset the material, and again using the Material Explorer, this time we can you see that we have all the V-Ray there, so we know that until there we have the arc and design, and from there we have the V-Ray material. So let's pick the chrome sofa as an instance, as we done past time. Then we have the white furniture and the glossy metal. Okay, the first one is a chrome material, and it is used for the back part, the bottom part of the sofa model. So we can just use an arc and design. We use a black color, we use a full reflectivity, just a little bit of glossiness, and then we go to have the IOR used as 18. Then we say to have a little bit of anisotropy. Okay, and we use the IOR. Nice. Then the white furniture, we are talking about, you see, let's make a copy. It's a simple material, but it's better to have a copy. So arc and design, and we have a white color. So let's do something like that. And then we have a nice reflectivity, not a maximum reflectivity. So let's go there, and let's say that we have something around something like that. Then we have a little bit of reflection glossiness, so let's say maybe something like that. And then we have the freshener reflectivity with the IOR set to 2.2. So let's set the IOR 2.2, and we say use IOR. Let's see if we have some maps. Nothing. Let's go to the glossy metal. This metal is just, you see, a really glossy metal with the IOR set to 12. So arc design, black, maximum reflectivity, a really high glossiness, and then we have 12 for the IOR, and we set IOR, and then we go for the anisotropy. Perfect. So let's reset, and Material Explorer, and we have to go down. We have the book material as an instance there, and an instance also there. Okay, there it is a little bit simple too, but we have to fix some stuff. So let's go inside the first one. You see that we have a material with some maps, so it is better to copy it there and start working to the material. So we can use the arc and design, and we have for sure a texture there. So let's go there, copy and paste. Then we have to see we have also a reflection map, use it at 100%, so we can use it Okay, we have also a reflection glossiness map, so copy, and we can put it there. And then we have also a bump map, paste, and let's use 0.1. Let's see if we have something else that we have to check. We have the IRR set to 6. So back there, and we go to set by IRR, and let's say 6. And that's ready. Let's go to the second one, and we have again a material like the previous one. So let's make copy, and there we say to use an arcane sign. Let's copy the bitmap for the diffuse. Let's see to use the reflection. And then we have the bump. And let's set 0.8. We have to check the general parameters for the material. We have 1.6 for the IRR. So let's do the same there. And we say use the IRR, and we set to 1.6. Let's do the same for the third material. Okay, let's copy it there, and there, arc and the sign, and we copy the map, paste. Let's copy the reflection map, and we have also the glossiness map, and then the bump map. And let's set to 0.1. Then we have to set the general parameters for the material. We have 6 there, so let's use IRR, and let's set to 6. So one book is ready, and I like to see if it works in render. So we can render this area. Let's stop. Sorry, I am removing the virtual frame buffer plus. I'm using them. We can go in region, and let's move in this area and render. Okay, you see that it is working in the right way. We have the nice looking book, so we can do the same thing for the other book, and we'll do the same. So you have to convert all the stuffs we do it manually, but you have to do the same thing we done before with the previous one. So we have all the material converted, so we can remove this material and we can continue with the other one. So again, Material Explorer, and let's go there, the book, we have it. So we have to do this one, the TV white as an instance, TV metal glossy, and let's use more material. So we use also the TV wood, and let's see how much we have there. TV wood box, TV base, and glass base. Okay, let's go to use another camera. Okay, let's use this one. So the first one is a TV white, and it's just a white color with a nice reflection with IRR set to 4, and we have no maps. So arc and design, we go for a white color, nice reflection, and a little bit of glossiness. IRR set to 4, and the IRR set to for the freshen reflection. This one is a metal glossy, and you see it's just a metal with a glossy color, so it's really simple. Arc and design, we'll use a dark gray. We go to have a really high reflectivity and a really high glossiness. 8 for the IRR, and we use also the anisotropy, and we set the BioRR freshener reflection. The TV boot, you see that we have some maps, so we can copy this one there, and then there we go for an arc and design, and we copy the other maps. So this one is the diffuse, and then this one is the reflection, and this one is the glossy. Let's check the IRR. It's set to 185, and we have a bump map. So copy, let's set to 185 the IRR, and then the bump, and let's say 0.05. Okay, let's go to the other one. This one is free because it's used the other material. That's a white material for the base, so we can do something really simple. We go for the arc and design, and let's create it from 0. So let's go for this one. We have a nice reflectivity with a little bit of glossiness and just a little bit of anisotropy. The glass base is a glass. Okay, so arc and design, and we can maybe just use directly the glass physical. Okay, perfect. So save and reset the material editor, material explorer, and we have the TV white, TV temp, TV chrome, art 5, 6 and 7. So let's copy everything, and we have also this one, the black glossy. We can do it later, so we move this one there. Let's start from the art material, really simple. So copy, and this one is an arc and design, and we have just the diffuse for the moment, and we have no reflectivity. Let's do the same for this one. Copy, and we have an arc and design. We have this map and no reflectivity, and then the same for the last one. So copy, arc and design, paste, and no reflectivity. Then let's go to the other one. There we have a really chromic material, so arc and design, and we go for the black color, maximum reflectivity. We go for a little bit of glossiness. Let's go for 80, set a little bit of anisotropy, and the IRR. Then the TV temp, okay, it needs to be copied because we have to check the texture. So we have a diffuse texture, so we go for an arc and design. Let's paste, and then there we have the freshener reflection maximum with the IRR set to 1.5, just a little bit of glossiness, 1.5, and the BioRare, and we have a noise map, so there the noise paste, and we set 001. Then let's work at the last one. That's the TV white, and we have just a white color. Okay, so just to be sure to use the same white, paste, and we remove the reflectivity. Let's do also the lattice material as an instance, and this one is a black glossy. Okay, so arc and design, let's go for a really dark gray near to the black color, and we have a little bit of reflectivity. We have a huge glossy, let's say 1.6, and let's say to use the IRR. We can check the editor there to see if we have some material that are not renderable. Okay, everything seems converted, so we can close, save, and we can try to render this one. So let's remove the region and let's try. So that's the render. We have to fix some stuff as the pavement, and we have some problem with the face there with two books, and maybe we have to fix also there. So first thing, let's use this book, and we are talking about the two copies there. So in the material editor, I like to pick this material, and I say to the first material to have this texture visible, and you see that we have the problem there. So let's say yes, that's the material number one, and you see that we have still problems. So let's see there, yes, that's the material number 3, and everything seems not fine. So maybe the best thing is to pick also this one. Then we can pick this one and erase, and pick this one and erase. Then let's convert to editable mesh this one, and we make a clone as a copy, and we move it there, and we rotate it maybe to something like that, and we can use the second color for this one. I rename the material just to be sure. Then let's go, for example, in the map, and you see that the map is there, and let's see the second one there. Okay, nice, it seems working fine. So then the other copy, edit clone, and we move it over it, and we can rotate and move it a little bit, and we can assign the second material. Or maybe this one. Okay, let's go in the diffuse just to see the map. Okay, nice. If we go back to the camera and we render just this area, we the render region, we should have the right phase. Okay, you see that there works fine. Let's work on the pavement material. So let's lock the region and let's pick this one. It's just a conversion, so obviously we have to tune up a little bit the material. So we have the diffuse channel there, and this one is the reflectivity, and maybe it's a little bit too much, so let's do a little bit less. And talking about the glossiness, it's used a different standard, so maybe we have to do something darker. Let's see again just a preview. Okay, you see that it is better than before. So the material there is better. I'd like to fix also there the material with the displays. So let's pick it there. Let's see, we have this one. Let's see over the material, and we try to have it more little. So let's say 8 and 14, and this one can be nice in this way. And let's try to have 3 and make preview. Okay, you see that the new scaling is right. I'd like just to see something there. We could use 20 there and try to have more displays. I like just to see if it works to have more noises and less displays for the little bitmap we are using for the cloth. Okay, it seems nice. I like to change also the color for this wood. So let's move the render region, for example, there, and let's pick the material. Okay, you see that the wood is really clear. The first color is this one, and we can use something more interesting. Okay, let's see if it is nicer. Okay, we have more saturation, more contrast, and that's nice. Another thing, I like to check the book over there, and something that can be done is to use directly the new copy we are using there. So for example, because I'm not sure if it is working there, let's try, for example, using this one, and let's make a really fast preview just to see if something changed. No, okay, we have the problem with the phase too, so the best thing is to make a clone from this one as a copy, and then move it there, and then we can use the perspective and we can start working on the book on this side. So see, we have to fix the rotation and we have to move it. Okay, so let's pick all those books I'm removing all the books we have there. Okay, then we can move this one inside, move it up and move it there. Let's try to create an array. Let's preview. Okay, let's set 0. And I like to have book until there. Okay, let's make copy. So we can imagine to use different materials. In some cases, like this one, this one, this one, and also there, and there, and there. And then we can use the other one for some pieces. Okay, then we can make a copy manually. And we can rotate it. Okay, then I like to make a simple preview for this area. So let's say that the region is from there until there, and let's make a render. Okay, you see that it is working. We can do the same with that books. So let's remove there. We make a clone and we can rotate by 90 degrees. Sorry. Then we move it. And then just a little bit of rotation to have something so a little bit more natural. We can assign this one and then a copy over it with the same book. Okay, nice. So let's do the same on the top. So we can clone some books to move on the top there, and we can remove this one, and the same with the others. And then we select all the other books we just created. And we can make a clone there and rotate and move it. Okay, back to the camera number 4. So we can save. I like to check also the material for the white furniture there. So let's peek, and I like to have maybe a little bit more reflectivity and a little bit less glossiness. So let's say that the render region is for this area. Okay, so you see that we have a better reflectivity there. Now I like to see in general how it works from the other point of view. So we can do a more little render, let's say maybe 500, and let's start from the first camera. Let's render, and that's a simple preview. Let's see, this one we know it because we done some preview before. That's the second one, and we can make a preview, a really fast preview. And you see that's the result from this point of view. Let's see the number 4, we know it. Let's go to the number 5. That's the number 5. Let's see the latest one. It was just for a test purpose. Let's see if we can do some changes to this camera. So select camera, and I like to have a different point of view. Or maybe we can directly use a camera done just for this purpose. So let's go there and let's add a new camera. And this one is the camera number 1. So we move it obviously higher, let's say at 177, and the camera needs some changes. So select camera, okay, and let's move a little bit down with a little bit of these pieces there, and I like to see if it is possible to see. So let's select target, and let's try to have something like that. Let's select again the camera, and let's say that our main focus is the target there. Let's see a preview. Okay, so that's the actual result. I'd like to see in the environment exposure some settings. So let's say that we have more light coming inside, and we'll have, but I like to use, let's say, maximum light bounces 4, and let's say 15 seconds and 0. Render preview, so we have the possibility to make some preview there. Okay, so let's lower this one. Let's work a little bit on the midtones and a little bit with the shadows. A little bit more saturation, and you see we can have more sunny color or less. Okay, let's make a preview. I think we can have more light coming inside, so let's go for, let's say, 5, and let's see, we're just 50 seconds for the rendering, so it's really fast, we can see it together. Okay. Nice. Let's save. So now we'll set, because we don't need to work so much with the gamma and the other tools, so we can save it with the 2.2 gamma. So we save the image as we see there in the viewport. So now I like to render the final image, and you know, with physically correct it will be obviously better, but we can try to speed up using, for example, 8. So we can obtain a nice quality, and we can also speed up the rendering. So now we can render the final image, and I will leave to unlimited, so I will stop when the quality and the grain is really nice. Let's set just the resolution. We'll work with the 900 for 506, and I have just 2 saved there, and I can start the render, and then we work in Fusion to have a little bit of color correction to have the final image. So that's the render. So we can go inside Fusion. We use the input-output loader, and we go in the Dropbox folder, and we load the image. So you see, that's the image. We can adjust with the color corrector. We can work a little bit on the shadows. Let's use a fit. So see, we have a little bit less red coloring. Let's see on the midtones. We can do the same. So it is a little bit more daylight, and then we can tweak a little bit. So you see, that's the image, and that's the new one. You see how we are removing a little bit of saturation and a little bit of red coloring. Nice. Let's go to have a little bit of glow. It is obviously really high. I use a really high value there to decide how much blend we have to use, just a little bit. So that's the lighting coming inside. Then let's go to have a brightness and contrast. And we use a mask to simulate an ellipse mask. Let's go to have just the lifting. So invert, and let's scale. Now we can change the soft edges. We can obviously use an higher value. Okay, let's scale just a little bit more there. Okay, so let's work on this one. We can use less lifting, and we can use more brightness. Let's go softer, and we change also a little bit the coloring on this area. So color corrector, and we use the same mask. And let's play just a little bit with a nice coloring, something like that. Okay. Then another thing, we can use the grain. So fill grain. It's obviously too much. Let's use a lower power, so just a little bit of grain, and let's move all this area there. Let's save the project, and we can see if we can add something else. And before we set the grain, I like to have a little bit of sharpen. So in the blur, sharpen, and then we go inside the grain. You see that it adds a little bit of detail. So let's see, that's with no blending. Let's go a little bit higher. So we have let's go to fit, and sorry, move this one, and then again to 100%, and we have the color corrector there and the sharpen there. So you see how we are catching more detail. Obviously we have also a little bit of grain still coming from the rendering, and I like to see just if it is needed to have again another color corrector before we go with the save. So let's go there and let's use color corrector, and also color curve. So let's see before with this one, and let's work on the red. Okay, so you see I'm just removing still a little bit of red. Okay, let's see the blue. We have a little bit more blue inside. Okay, and then let's remove this color corrector. I like to see just if needed with the brightness and contrast. So that's with the color corrector and that's with the brightness. Let's have a little bit more contrast. And maybe a little bit less brightness and a little bit more saturation. Okay, now we can connect there, and I like to see there with a blur for the glow, if we can have a little bit more glow inside. Okay, back to the fit, and let's say that this one, let's say the A is the final render, and this one is the first one. So save. Let's say that we have just one image, and save. So as you see, that's our image rendered with 3ds Max, and that's the complete image with just a little bit of tuning on coloring and some more stuff. Something maybe we can have. Okay, just a little bit more glow. Okay, so that's our final image. You know that our resolution is a little bit lower, so we can use the add tool transform, and we can have the crop, and the crop is 900, and let's say 400. That's our resolution. So let's go to fit, and you see we are cutting some stuff with this one, but we can move it if needed. So we can, for example, move to this area. So that's our render, and we are just cropping a little bit to have the right position and fitting. So that's 100%. Okay guys, so save, and we are ready to save the final image. So for the moment, that's all. It was a really simple way to see how to convert a scene made with another rendering engine as Vray, and how to tune up in a really simple way to be used with Vray. Obviously, we'll prepare more tutorials dedicated just to Vray to see, for example, also the new advanced shader to work on more realistic scene setup. So for the moment, that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.